Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Joining Forces for Joy, Creative Ways to Build a Meaningful ELL Community Session. My name is Ward Lyon. I'm director at the Wisconsin Technical College System Office. Just so you know, this session is going to be recorded. During the session, feel free to put questions in the chat, and then we will have a short Q&A about 5 minutes after the session, just so you know. To turn on captions during the session, just click on the 3 dots at the top of the meeting. Then it'll take you to language and speech, and then turn on the live captions. For more information on live captions, please visit the Microsoft support in the chat. Thank you. Our goal is to have recordings and the resources uploaded within the next week, so you'll receive an email when those resources are available. As we get started, let's take a moment to review our session expectations. So engagement, please listen actively and be in the room, be present. We're very excited to host this third WTCS Faculty Summit. We recognize that many of you are taking time out of your busy day, work and family time to be here, and we just want to make the most of the time, so we appreciate you all being here. At the end of the session, we'll be putting a link for the exit ticket in the chat, so please provide brief feedback on the session. We encourage you to share one action step you want to take based on the information that was shared, and I'll put that in the chat just to remind everybody. So right now, I will stop sharing my screen and I will turn it over to the presenters. Thanks for being here.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Ward. Yeah, we're really excited to present this evening to you all. So I'm going to get my presentation going here. And we only have a 30-minute session here, so we're going to be moving pretty quickly along. And let me make sure I can give this to my co-presenter here. So yeah, we'll start out and say, you know, we're glad you're here. This is very geared toward our ELL instructors at different campuses, but I will say we do tons of collaboration with other instructors and departments. So we want this session to really spark your creativity, spark some joy. What are some exciting, great things, great collaborations going on for students? But we want to share about our ELL community here at CVTC and the creative ways that me and Ana Ramona work together. So she'll share some things, I'll share some things, we'll go back and forth. But a little bit about us, we are work best buddies. So I always joke with my students that she's my work wife and we love working together. I just so happen to have like a best friend within work. So I feel like very, very fortunate. I'm a full-time ELL instructor at CVTC at Chippewa Valley Technical College at the Eau Claire campus. I'm the program director as well, so I love organizing things. I love getting us all on the same page. I have 15 to 20 years of teaching experience in master's in TESOL, and I'm an idea person. I love to see a vision come to life and all the puzzle pieces to come together. I do love a good Excel spreadsheet and making flyers and just creating a community in my classroom. It's really important to me. Ana Ramona, you can share about yourself.
Thanks, Alyssa. So I'm Ana Ramona Gregerson. I'm a full-time ELL college navigator, and so I'll talk a little bit about that a bit later and what a college navigator is. But I have a master's degree in student development and higher ed. I have a little over 15 years of advising type of experience, and I am a listener. I love to work with students, get them connected with the resources that they need, and create opportunities for them to learn and grow. I also love working with our students and getting them up to speed with the technology that we use in our program.
Awesome. So you'll get to hear a little bit from both of us. We'll start out with a little bit about our program, though, and how it's grown.
Yeah, so to kind of get us started here, we have kind of a chart here for the last couple of years. But this past year, we have had a record number of 559 students that we have served. And so you can see that our program has exploded over the last couple of years. But we like to say that it's in part that Alyssa has become our program director since 2022. And I have been our college navigator, strictly ELL, since 2023. Before that, I split much of my time between adult ed and ELL. And we also have a wonderful online program as well as our face-to-face classes. We have enough students to be able to level out all of our classes as well. So we have 8 online courses as well as 13 in-person classes amongst our 4 campuses. So we have classes at our Menominee campus, our Chippewa Falls, River Falls, and Eau Claire. We also have, oops, go back here a second. We also have 4 faculty, full-time ELL dedicated faculty, 5 adjunct instructors, and we also have a college navigator at each of our other regional campuses, but they do part ELL, part adult ed.
Awesome. And so a little bit about our passion for building community in the classroom. So of course, I'm an English teacher, and it's really important to teach English to our immigrant and refugee population in our cities, but it's very important to make that community a loving and caring space. And so the more students become more comfortable with their teachers and classmates, we reduce stress in our classrooms, and that collaborations that we do are meant to build trust and decrease learner stress. So we're just going to show you lots of things that we've gotten to do and create together to build that de-stressed environment. A lot of things we're going to share with you today, the ideas we've had to kind of incorporate joy into the classroom and in our community has been very reactive. We hear students' needs, we see a lot of patterns, and these needs arise, and cultural gaps or emergency English issues, and we say we got to fill this with some kind of special programming or an event or a field trip. We also really love giving students a full learning experience, having field trips and guest speakers, different activities. Some of our students have never gotten to actually step into school since they were in 3rd grade, and now they're 40 years old. Some of our students are women who have never had the education opportunities in their past. And some students are extremely educated and just really want this American idealistic experience of what they see on the movies. So we want to give them a full learning experience, not just the classroom. And we just have a lot of ideas, a lot of passion and energy, and we want students to learn holistically and feel at home in their environment. So today's presentation is a lot of pictures. It's mostly on Ramona and I looking at all the events we've done together and all these ideas we've come up with. And we just want to show you pictures of what we've done. We hope this sparks ideas in you that you can take back to your community and into your college and say, how can we collaborate? How can my students who are not English language learners work with English language learners? Or how can we get some creative ideas flowing? We always got to talk a little bit about the money, because we're going to show you some things that cost money. But I really encourage you to say, all right, well, what if we had all kinds of money? And then start exploring, right? Grants, 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 lots of grants where adult ed is highly grant funded throughout the state, and federally funded grants funded. Some of that money might go away. So we're all kind of like, how do we do this? Not all faculty and programs can use grants during the term. I've really, especially we've talked with our diversity team at the college, the student success team. There's a lot of faculty who are so busy, they don't have time to do extra things. They just have to get through the curriculum. So ELL faculty, knock on the doors, find those people that have the money and say, yes, I need your money. And then talk to your dean. Maybe your dean has some creative solutions. Your CBOs and collaboration throughout the city have some solutions. There are just ways to make some of these things happen. There's a lot of things we're going to share today that have built joy that are $0 as well. So, all right, types of events.
So we have had so many different activities and events that we have broken them down into a couple of different categories for you tonight. So we have community building activities, we have collaboration and cultural knowledge, and student success. So with our community building, those are our fun activities. And so this semester, we've had the privilege of creating a space and a temporary space that we have had for the semester, a student lounge. And so our students get to hang out in this space pictured here before class, after class. And my office is kind of behind the student lounge. So students get to come and talk to me. And with this new space, more students have come to speak with me. It's just a safe, fun spot where students get to connect with one another. And we provide some snacks and coffee and tea. So it's just a great place for students to be. It's also helped get students out of the hallway waiting for class to start as well. We've also had a coloring contest. And so many of our students in past activities that we've done, we've provided some kind of filler time of just coloring. But now we actually had created a coloring contest because many students just love to color. And so you can see the two pictures here of our contest winners. And so all the students got to vote on whose picture they liked the best. And so that was real fun. The winner won a CBTC mug. We also have gotten a grant. We received a grant in this last year to purchase new T-shirts for students. And so this is, again, another visual representation of students belonging to something. And so the T-shirt actually has, in different languages, language opens doors. And so the students have loved seeing their language on our shirts, and have been able to share with one another. Faculty and staff also that have collaborated with us. Even our CBTC president has worn her shirt around. So students just love seeing others wearing the ELL t-shirt.
They also got to translate the phrase as well. So
Yeah.
that was really fun.
Yeah. We also have a student welcome day. So every 8 weeks we have entry level and an entry point for students to join our classes. And so on that first day, we just do some fun activities for students to get to know each other. And so on the left-hand side, we have a picture of our mingle event or our mingle activity. And so students get to talk to each student that's there that day, whether they're a current student or a new student, and ask them a couple of questions. And then on the right-hand side is a picture of a group of students from our scavenger hunt activity that we did during Welcome Day as well. We also love a good party. And so we also do end of the semester or a holiday party, which is there on the left. And so all the students get to bring a special dish from their country. And so we have a wonderful time then. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see a picture of our conversation in culture class that does a Halloween party. And so it's fun to share with students what we do during Halloween, some trick-or-treating and things like that, and dressing up in costumes. So some American traditions and activities that we do that students love to get to know about. We also have created in our student lounge a community tree where students are able to put their thumbprint on the tree as a leaf. And again, another visual representation of them belonging to our community. So any
And I think for
questions?
the
Oh, go ahead.
sake of time, actually, I
Yeah.
think we'll just keep moving because we
Yep.
need to get through a lot, and then we'll have some questions at the end.
Sure.
But put your questions in the chat if you have any questions. This is our collaboration cultural knowledge. So those were a lot of fun activities that we do for belonging. But here's some stuff that we've done that have given students some more knowledge. Of course, field trips. We love to do field trips. And if we can we typically do like a big field trip in the fall where we might take a big bus and go out of town, out of state, even over to Minnesota, But we love doing local things, campus tours, police and fire department tours, library, city hall, hikes, and going to the beach as our students are like, what, you guys have beaches? So apple orchards, all those types of things. Here's a couple of the field trips we've done, going to the state capitol in Minnesota, doing campus tours, eating ice cream and ordering ice cream together, meeting the police officers, having a positive experience with our local law enforcement, Wabasha Eagle Center, just taking the school bus. That's one of the best things. Students want to ride the yellow school bus, and going to the art museum, having a picnic, lavender farm, anything. We just try to see what can we go to. Some of these students are driving themselves to those locations if they're really close by and nearby. Otherwise, if they're not, we're taking a bus. We have a winter driving class that we've done every November, December. So we team up with our police academy instructors. They spray down the training, the semi-truck training area, and we do a morning session of instructional, how do you be safe in the winter time with driving, and then the afternoon, 8 lucky students get to drive. And this is totally backwards, I think. But anyway, they get to drive a car and with one of the officers and work on sliding and slipping and correcting a turn. We've been doing this for over 5 years. It's such an amazing collaboration with those instructors. So cool. It's a coveted 8 spots. We love to ride the bus. And so the bus company in town, the transit center, always offers free training. And so they'll come to us with a training bus, and we'll go right around, and we'll actually usually we'll ride the route that it takes to get to CVTC and down to the transit center. Then we'll walk around the transit center. So really great opportunity to learn about bus stuff, and that's so important. So many of our students take the bus. We had so many students telling us, Alyssa, I don't know what to do. The cop came and pulled me over, and then I walked out of the car to shake his hand. Was that correct? And I was like, no, that's not correct. Don't do that. So we've had students stop in the middle of the street. So we were just hearing a lot of students saying, what do I do when a cop pulls me over for something? So we had a police officer come in and do a session, and students asked lots of questions. Along with that collaboration with other faculty, we have a public safety team of 2 students, or more than 2 students, multiple students. But our teacher, Lindsay, she wanted to invite the public safety students and student officers and the staff members to come in to have an open dialogue about policing in other countries and policing in the United States. So again, just more collaborative conversations. We worked with our fire paramedics, and they came in to teach our students about fire safety this fall, carbon monoxide safety. We, again, the students got to practice. I loved that they got to practice if they have to call 911, what would the dispatcher say, getting that confidence behind the phone. We had a grant to offer a CPR and first aid certification to 16, I think maybe actually more than that, 32 students. But the other thing is we kind of found out, well, if we can't pay for a certification, can we just do a mini class? Can one of the paramedics come in for 3 hours to practice all of the things, but not get a certification, right? So that was kind of a workaround we did. So we had a grant funded program where students could get the certification, but then we just had a mini class where students could learn the information, but not get a certification. And that really helped us with that money piece for that second one. We worked with a residential construction instructor. We had a grant from Student Success to build these benches. So my students went in our conversation culture class, and they built 3 of these benches together over a span of 6 hours. And then the residential construction students finished them up, put these plaques on them for us. They varnished them and everything, and now they're sitting at 3 of our campuses. So our students use this bench all the time. It brings me so much joy. All right, Career Day, Anna Ramona.
Yeah, sure. So we also had a career day for students where we invited our career specialist from CVTC to this day, and they discussed with students what is appropriate to put on a resume and what's not, what are the cultural differences for that, and also they were able to practice an elevator pitch of what would you say to somebody interviewing you about yourself. We also,
Sorry.
oops. From that, we also have created a job club where we have found that students also want all sorts of jobs, but they just don't know where to find them or how to fill out a job application. So we spend some time with students on filling out job applications, and that collaboration has been with our job center. We also had, this is kind of our event that we had done a year or two ago with, it's called Cultivating Confidence. And so we had found, again, those patterns of our female students kind of lacking that confidence. And so we decided to have an event more focused for our female students, but our male students were invited as well. But we had a talk about women's health care, confidence building. We had a self-defense little session, and students were able to get a professional headshot done. And we invited also some of our CBOs for info booths.
Yeah, we've just worked with other CBOs as well. We have a group in town who loves to make welcome quilts for our students. We're able to give those out to students and their families. We have an art show coming up this Friday in Eau Claire, where an artist, local artist of a nonprofit, came into my classroom to show students how to paint their stories or paint things that are important to them. And that brought out some wow, surprising artistic ability that we had no idea was out there. We love working with volunteers. Using volunteers is a great way to make connections with different cross-cultural community members and bring everyone together. So we have currently right now, we have about 6 or 7 university students who are ed majors they have a volunteer requirement in our class. They have a volunteer requirement, so a lot of them are doing it here with us. We have community members who come in, retired people, different CBOs. Another collaborative thing that's brought so much joy to our students in our college is Voices of the Valley. Our students wrote a book. This is our second published book that our students have written. The teachers have taught a personal narrative unit. Students write a book. The graphic design students create the layout of the book, the cover of the book. Our local advisory committee prints the book. And then we have a gallery, student readings, sharing at the culture fests. So once you get the recording of this, you're welcome to read our book. It is completely free on our website. If you just search CVTC Voices of the Valley, you will be able to find it as well. All right, we just have a few minutes left. So student success.
Yeah, so with student success, let's see. Having issues with the clicking there. Okay, so we like to recognize our students once they graduate with their HSED. So we've had a HSED to work class, and so this picture here is our 5 graduates that we just had this past spring. This is again, and we also, all right, we also have what's called Navigator Week. So all the college navigators meet with all of our students back to back throughout class time. We pull the students just to talk to them about different resources and also anything that they may need, their goals. So we've created a bit of a menu for them to choose from so that we get to know ahead of time what they want to talk to us about.
Yeah.
And then, oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was my turn. You keep going.
No. Okay. And so then we also many of our faculty, all of our faculty know another language, so we think that that's important as well for building community with our students, being able to speak their language, and also being able to hire people that speak their language. 3 of the 5 college navigators that we have speak another language other than English. I speak Spanish. We have my colleague here in the picture, Alicia, who speaks Hmong. So it's been very beneficial to speak with many of our students.
We have a big testing week where we bring snacks and we post-test for all you ELL instructors who know what the TABE post-testing process. So having it be 1 week, this big palooza that we prep for and all the students come to is really beneficial. We've been using Microsoft Teams as forming Teams chats with our students so that we can share what they're learning in class. We can share resources. We can just have more community. And I don't know if we really have time, Ward. I think we're kind of done with this presentation. We were going to share a survey to see what you've been up to at your campuses to bring joy to others. But if you'd like to, and you have a moment, you're welcome to drop in the chat. What are you doing that's bringing joy for your students? What types of activities? We really just hope you got some little inspiration today, but if you're able to pop anything in the chat, let us know. We'll be able to read the chat later and we can all get ideas from each other. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for that presentation. We appreciate it. I did put a link to an exit ticket in the chat. If you guys could please fill that out and share one action step that you would like to take based on information shared. But that was a great presentation, a lot of passion. And what I took from it is I like the community that you develop for them. Like they're, if they're coming from a different country and you make them feel like they're part of their own community, another community, which is great.
Absolutely. Community makes the best learning. That's how it goes. All right. We have some of our adjunct instructors giving us a little love. Thanks, Sarah and Katie.
That's great.
Thank
We
you.
love you guys. And it's exciting. We're going to be working with the all the student police academy this next January to have a cross-cultural component for their classes. We're working with nursing teams soon, hopefully trying to work on something where nursing students come to take vitals of all of our students in a class, and then the students have to share their personal information and practice sharing their address, their date of birth, things like that. So we're just trying to collaborate as much as we can, because you never know when the money's going to dry out. You never know when you're going to get it. So if we can collaborate more in our colleges, we can make a greater connection for all of our students and instructors.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great experience to have EMT students be around that too, because of going to call, especially for people that represent the communities that you're in, they might not necessarily have people that speak multi-languages. So they're starting to come out with textbooks and stuff like that, but that would be a great participation for that to happen with like EMT or paramedic classes.
And
Because they're
if
going
you
into their homes.
Absolutely. And if you're an instructor who doesn't teach ELL, you have ELL classes in a campus nearby through WTCS, through your tech college. So see who those campus instructors are, those ELL instructors are, because we really, really love working with other college instructors. We love working with people, and we don't always have a strict, we're non-credit, so we don't have to get through a certain amount of curriculum. We do have a curriculum plan, but it's different than taking a credit course. So we love having other colleagues come in to do presentations or discussions. It's just a natural part of the ELL teaching and experience. So if you're an instructor who's not ELL, reach out to your ELL instructors and say, can my students come in and present something? Can our instructor come in and present something? Can we do some kind of open dialogue? It will just rock your world. ELL is the unicorn, the beautiful unicorn of WTCS colleges. So
seems very flexible. Like that's amazing.
we are very flexible.
Yeah.
And we're all like this. We're all crazy, wonderfully joyful teachers that just want our students to feel good.
You did have a question in the chat. I don't know if you saw it. Are all these things available to all students, or are they specifically different events for different levels?
We level out sometimes if it's a more serious, more vocabulary dense focused topic. We might have that be more of an advanced focus. It also depends on the instructor. You know, if an instructor is more passionate about bringing different things into their classroom, then those students are just going to get more opportunities unless you're able to make it more widespread. But we do a lot of prep. So if I know that a police officer is going to come and talk about these points, we'll do vocabulary prep ahead of time. We'll make a picture dictionary, or we'll use the OPD, the Oxford Picture Dictionary, to kind of prep our students on that information and material. So as if we can do prep, we really like to try to do prep to make that session better. But the hard thing with ELL is we have a lot of native English speakers that come and speak too quickly and too over their heads, using a lot of expressions and idioms. So there will just be some things that our students won't catch, but that's okay. We just have to take a breath and say they're going to get out of this experience what they can. And then we co-teach as much as we can. If there's a really vital point, we step in as ELL instructors and say, oh, I see that glaze of eyes. They don't understand. Let's say that again. Let's reiterate that again. Good question.